After all that.
Celestial rising, divine afternoon, and grand night to the beautiful divine mirage watching this mindful message. It is your divine reflection, divine messenger, and we are back with another luminescent lesson. And if you choose to, make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more divine messages. Let's go ahead and get into it. For today's video, we're going to be talking about how Goodwood Arenas basically exposed the transhumanism agenda. And when it comes down to when he was talking about Karl-Anthony about him being built like a you know what, and him having girl hips and all that. For one, examining another guy's physique is pretty odd to me, but it's not really odd when you understand that with Freemasonry or just occultism. So understand too, for the people, actually as a matter of fact, because I got the Masonic book right here in my possession, and we are going to expose the first degree or the inner apprentice on Patreon. So to my Patreon family, I do got the part 3 done for y'all. So we got pages. So we'll be covering 31 through 44. Yep, 44. So we'll be covering that, and also got need to knows for you as far as the grips and then the signs, the password, Psalms, and then how we were born with this in our hearts for the first level. So I'll be talking about that and breaking that down for you all. But now, whenever you go on Patreon and you see that video and then you come back to my YouTube videos, you're basically getting the highest awareness in those degrees without stepping into those degrees. So you'll be able to see that by him mentioning Karl-Anthony having, and shout out to Skull and Gate as well. Skull and Gate always doing great work with his overlays and forensics and all that, and just the anatomy. And also got to just different sciences and different enhancers or mind control disruptors that these beings are placed under. So of course, as we can see, Karl-Anthony is a woman playing as a man in the NBA. And I think it's too, if you watch Juwanna Mann basically, because I know somebody doesn't know what that movie is. If you watch documentaries and you watch them for a lesson, don't watch them for entertainment, watch it for a lesson. Understand, the NBA is the WNBA. So when you're watching the NBA, you're watching a bunch of women playing basketball. So if you look, because you gotta understand too how deceitful it is. So with occultism, for one, it is very tricky to ask yourself, okay, if you're a woman playing as a man, how are you able to do what you do? So now we gotta understand, because it's just like with Luciferianism, when it comes to basketball, and of course relating to being a basketball player, it takes 10,000 hours to master a craft. But of course you go over that hour limitation that you become freely able to have the green light in. And when you're very skillful with a certain mindset, and you go along with the script by maintaining a certain image, then you're going to be able to stick with the alignment that these beings handled your life into being placed under. So we watch these highlights real quick.
In our game, raw talent is not enough.
We gotta be able to see how the being is able to do all these things, and that's the manipulative part, because people are getting their energy harvested whenever they're watching the playoffs, whenever they're watching just a regular NBA game in general, because that's exactly what they want. For them to make 30 points, and the thing is too, so if you're in the NBA, you're not bad. You're obviously one of the best, and then it's like 400 some positions or whatever, or spots. You're the greatest of the greatest, literally. But it's like a director that's picking out which actor is going to star in the movie. So you got two of these great actors, but this main actor right here, I want them to be the beginning, the middle, and the ending for the movie or the trilogy that we're going to make, as far as the title that we're going to place these two actors to go up against in the same exact movie that they are playing together in. So when people think that Kat is getting, or Karl-Anthony is getting 25 points, 38 points, or whatever, you're watching what the script wanted you to see. But realistically, Karl-Anthony is not really being the man that you think she is being, because she's basically a woman in a man's consciousness. And I understand how this is different or difficult to comprehend. So that's exactly why too, I made sure to just look up different sciences that talked about different medications, different pharmaceuticals that keep them under the mind control, because all the Illuminati is, the title for that whole unconscious ignorance that's put into a disruptive frequency that people can't vibrate at. All they are doing is they're just basically mind controllers. That's all they came to do. So government, they're literally controlling the mental state of your mindset, depending on what you want to do with that mind state. Because if you don't understand what they're doing or what they're being, then how will you understand what they always been in your life when you were born from that lifestyle that you don't practice? Because you love and you savor and you harness you harness your morality, your dignity, your morals. Like, that's why you stay true to who you are, and you don't care about the money, you don't care about the accolades, you don't care about the temporary fame, because fame just considers you to be a leech for them. And you're going to be harvested too with the spiritual side, of what you were supposed to be focusing on, but you lost that focus because you wanted to be portrayed as the best basketball player in illusions that never mattered. So we watch this.
Towns on top, Turner right there, Town.
And that's the thing, she's strong-minded. So for one, she like what, 6'11", 6'10", or whatever the case is. So it's like Brittany Griner. But if you just see,
Talking about.
if we're talking like, let's talk basketball now. Let's do angles. So triple threat, left side, you got a fouler. But it's an and one because you big as shit. Like, if you actually see these people in person, they're literally Nephilim. Boom. So behind the back, now of course, not having his hands up, let him just go by. And then it's just like, at some point, people gotta understand too, with talent and then just allowance. It's like LeBron, for example. When people see LeBron going into the lane, some people just don't, they just don't jump, because it's like, I'm either get dunked on or I just want LeBron to go ahead and get his points because I kind of don't care. I'm getting paid to score the ball, not play defense. And the thing is too, defense is frowned upon in the NBA. So it's kind of like, imagine your coach, your handler told you, you're not supposed to play defense on Cat because Cat is expected to have a double or triple double. So you kind of like have to make it seem like you're playing defense for Miles Turner, but you're not really playing defense for real, because you still getting cooked, but people can't really understand how you're getting cooked. But that's exactly why with Luciferianism, these beings are able to control the narrative of what people are seeing. So these people aren't actually real people. They're just, what would I call them? They're just basically background actors impersonating avatars. So these are basically leeches that need energy to look to for inspiration, because it's an addiction, obviously. So it's like even getting coffee, it's like eating popcorn when you go to the movies, it's like getting gas, for example, it's like smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, feeding your dog, taking a shower, eating food, drinking water, exercising, getting nature. All these things are addictions that we think we're feeling better in. That's what they do as well, so it's no different. But it's a difference when you understand what they're playing for. So if you even went back into the Roman time period with or the Greek time period, or Greece, with the Colosseums and the time periods of the Romans and the gladiators going to war against each other, just in those different domes or stadiums. And a lot of times in these stadiums, they would just have different games going on. So you could be one of the greatest slaves that that has been captured, and then you go into the middle of this ring of a stadium, you got people cheering and people talking amongst each other, eating food, because they're giving you a circus for the entertainment to keep you aware of what you aren't always spiritually being in tune with. Because if you're not in tune with your purpose or your lifestyle, you'll fill up a void with the things that you find entertainment in. But that's not entertaining to your spirit. So why would you watch non-entertaining things that never matter to your spirit? Because you know at the end of the day, what's the point of a basketball game continuously going? People have watched the same exact court. You watch these people run up and down the same exact floor every year. What do you gain from that? Do you know somebody who's a diehard fan of just the Miami Heat, OKC, the Warriors, the Knicks, the Pacers, Brooklyn Nets, the Rockets, the Lakers? So these people, they can't sit with themselves at home, so they need to go on a tablet, their phones, watching football, baseball, wrestling, watching basketball, watching reality TV show, their own TV shows, streaming platforms. And it's not a bad thing at all, because I still watch streaming platforms too. I watch Disney Plus, I watch Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, I watch HBO Max. So I got many different platforms too that I watch as well. But as you can see, I mean, we're getting work in. So it's like, I'd rather work first on the things that benefit me and my family than just sitting on my ass all day playing a game or watching a movie. But the thing is, if I'm playing a game or watching a movie, I'm using it for an intention that's going to help me. I'm going to slow down too. I'm just very passionate about this stuff. It's crazy. But I'm going to use it for an intention that's going to better me so that I can learn something new. So if I'm playing the game, for example, I'm not just playing the game. It's like I'm focusing on the angle. So if I'm playing 2K, I'm going to find a certain angle for me to score on, get my teammates involved, do what I got to do to win the game. Now, of course, some people who don't like me in 2K online, they had to sell me. They got to flop on another team. They got double team me, triple team me. That's cool. But I'm basically building up my mind to make sure that I can push through any limit that other people are envious of and trying to put me towards into quitting in, basically. And I don't want to quit because I'd rather just play the game and just test my capabilities that I know I can conquer. And with these beings right here, it's the same exact thing. If you can't conquer your mind, then the mind will run away from the spiritual purpose that you should be following. And then that's when you're going to start putting the things that you should be taking care of into other people's hands. And then now you're basically under the spell of the occultic athletic casting that you know could change your life if you weren't paying attention to what can't change your life in a basketball game. That's all it is, just a sacrifice game of people who are putting the ball into the hoop continuously. You've seen the same exact game once again for 82 games out of the season, playoffs and the championship included. But when it's all said and done, when they don't have the games at your manner for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so on and so forth, what are you doing with your life now? So people get so bored, they be like, well, there's no game on today, so what do I do now? Live? You're not gonna live for you, just gonna live for the NBA or ESPN? You're gonna live for a slave auction that's giving you the script of who already won the game? I hope you understand. If the Pacers win the finals, why be surprised? They're basically showing you that OKC is just a one-dimensional team of a puppet master controlling the rest of the role players. But when you play as a team and you get everybody involved and everybody's getting buckets, not only just that, you got the magnetism too for the basketball, then you got the madness in the rim. So it's just, you got talent and just spells just all mixed together. That's hypnosis. So when you're under the hypnosis spell, you can't tell if a three is really going in or if a three is really going in. Because it is just a lot of talent, but then again though, you can just throw up a shot and that bitch is gonna win because that's all I'm saying. That's exactly why too in basketball, they're choosing rims on which side to pick. So when somebody gets a tip off and they're going and they're playing on a certain rim for the first and second quarter, and they change the second part for the other rim, they gotta understand too with the halftime show. If you don't watch these people, it's like even before the game starts, they already took control of how to activate the mind control for the rims. Because the thing is too, during the halftime show, you're not going to see them obviously doing anything to mess with it because that'd be too obvious. So I'm thinking to myself, if you wanted to put like an activator for a magnet in the ball, then a magnet in the rim so that when you shoot the ball, for example, when you shoot the ball, literally, so B-A-A-L, so by ball, literally the Bible, this is all part of like the scripture, Bible scripts. So boom, left wide open. Now, when you see and understand, because you haven't held an NBA basketball, you haven't even played in the NBA, so you can't sit here and tell me that there isn't dark magic happening right in front of your face, in the light. Excuse me, my bad. Had to get out of my system. All right. Left wide open. So as you can see, just purify all net. And the thing is, it's obvious to when Gilbert Arenas said his comment because as I'm looking at this rim right now, for one triple threat position, bringing it to the left side of her body, and then Miles Turner guarding, pump fake, didn't fall for it, but letting her get to her spot. So it's like not making it too obvious because she must be strong, but it's like when you a background character too that's playing in another and they're all transgender by the way. So majority of them. If Skull and Gate was able to get all 10 of these people on the court, their analysis, and they all are women, that would be crazy as fuck. I ain't gonna lie, I just don't want to overdo what he got going on with his work as well because people be busy. I don't like making requests like that. But if Skull and Gate, the one who did the skull overlay, if he was able to get all these people's faces and then I was able to scan them and put them through their own gematria script and see that they're all transgender, that would just prove that the WNBA is basically the NBA. So Angel Reese would basically be your brother. And I already made a video on that too. But boom, get into her spot, spin. It's like, at that point, it's just too easy because it's just a guaranteed bucket. But that's the point. So it's like, there's no, look at the faces. So you can see she feels as if like I'm being dominant, or I'm dominating, and I'm dominating his mindset or her mindset. And it's like, she can't fuck with me. So it's like, you just keeping that face on, keeping that idea like, yeah, I can't be stopped. So driven down the court, not passing it. It's like, really? So hold on. So Pascal, so for no, hold the hell on. Okay, you running this way. You telling me, Siakam, you didn't see whoever that was on the left-hand corner? If we're playing basketball and you're scanning the floor, if I'm Siakam right here, and you can't sit here and tell me because I played college basketball before. So it's like, and of course I make mistakes too. But realistically, as you just develop your mindset, for when you get to the NBA, you have to be aware at all times of the court. But that's the thing though, with hypnosis or the hypnotic frequencies that they are under, a lot of times they let shit happen because they're getting paid for it. They're getting paid to bet on people, cause you to get your emotions rattled up because you can't control them. And when people are betting on these people right here, that's what makes the game less fun to watch or more fun to watch. I ain't gonna lie, I think betting is, I don't bet, but I think betting is pretty fun when you're wanting somebody to get certain points, rebounds, steals, assists that can help you pay your bills. But then that's when you start losing yourself. And then that's when these beings understand how to play the game now. So it's a game within a game within a game. And the thing is too, they're not playing for the people behind the scenes or even in front of the arena right here. These are all distractions. Not only just that, look at the arc. Squaring, so rectangle, really, but a square, squaring the solar awarenesses, squaring the circle. And we understand that with this arc right here, arc and a compass. So now with this Masonic book right here, if you're able to see this, same exact thing. Then of course, our ego is the G that the Freemasons have, that's what they casted upon society. So when you see that, your mind is in their illusion through a shape that people watch, through a ball. That's why if you go back and watch Space Jam, Space Jam talked about how you can transmute your energy onto a basketball, literally the greatest sacrifice of all time. And then when you do that, the game will start giving, because to whom much is given, much is required. If you get sacrificed into these realms, into Freemasonry, but you go up into higher degrees, they'll put you in position to win. But at what cost? Your God is money. So you have to start doing, you can't, and the thing is too, I'm pretty sure somebody will say, if you don't know who I am, or if you're new here, welcome to the unity. Welcome to the highest vibration of unity, by the way. If you don't understand that with oaths, they keep their oaths and they're not meant to talk about what they went through, because that just goes against, I think it's law of disclosure. I know I put it up in here. Yes, exactly. So it's law of disclosure. Let's see here. Okay, so the beings that operate under a dark deceptive force, they have to tell you what they're doing due to subliminals that we aren't able to comprehend. And the thing is, it goes out of their integrity. And not just that, they have to confess to maintain their karmic balance so that they don't have a universal consequence for their family. That's the thing though, so his mother was sacrificed. Why is that? So it's like, they make sacrifices not knowing that you still don't get to go into that positioning that you wanted to win so bad. So is his mom really dead, or is she just dead to you? To get out of the limelight of fame from her daughter being portrayed as her son. That's how deep it gets. So if you don't see his mom in person, you wouldn't know if his mom is dead or not. But the media told you that because they're killing off characters like that. But behind closed doors, he's just paying for his mom's delusion that she died in, but she's still living through her daughter or son. So now she's running. Understand, these are all, and of course we got Lucifer right here, all for a basketball. If you look at when the NBA first started, that was the beginning of the hypnotic spell for mind control for the masses to be entertained by. Dribbling. Nobody's seeing this person just running back here though. You're not going to even just say, hey, so for one, you're running back. You can see the whole floor right here. You can't tell me you can because you're behind. You're trailing behind the person with the ball. Everybody's focused on the ball, literally. Everybody's focused on Lucifer right now. So whoever has the ball, it's the master of Lucifer or the alchemy of Luciferianism in the ball or basketball. So that's how deep it gets because it's all spiritual warfare anyways. Now, when you become righteous, it's like you have to either say something or you just don't say anything at all because you're taking your oath as well. Everybody has a position to play and a role to fulfill. So when you're saying, if you can be like, hey, backside, Siakam backside, Miles Turner backside. Boom. So you, for one, why are you going that way when he wide open? Let's do it. Let's see it again. This is just mind-blowing to me. You see it. He see it. Look, just watch him. Not even an effort to try and block it. He wasn't going to dunk on you. But what is that? But look at that. Look at that. And it is what it is. I mean, with the faces and all that, just the mannerisms, but understand, they give it away. They tell themselves all the time. So if you have been cheering or if you're infatuated by this person's style of play, and on top of that, it's so crazy how the universe works, how the simulation works, because when I went to New York recently and took pictures, like you can't make this stuff up. Actually, I'm gonna have it on the screen, but as I'm looking, like Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena, playoffs 2025, fraudulent sellers, the world's most famous arena. So it's like New York Knicks, Madison Square Garden. Garden of Eden, attacking you internally. But when you just see the stuff, like when I see it in person, just being able to understand the occultism and how they do it, how they hide it from the masses, and the masses doesn't even know what they're watching. It just shows that dark magic is a thing. It's a thing that people aren't even aware of. So, but I just want y'all to see just how deceptive that is because somebody won't be able to understand how they do it. Oh yeah, let me go back to because I didn't tell y'all about so I understood something called endocrine disruptors, synthetic hormones. And this will alter the natural gender and duality, or you can say polarity as well. And disrupts the divine masculine and feminine balance. So it blocks estrogen, testosterone injections, and then puberty inhibitors and adrenal regulators. And this is how a lot of times in their inverted rituals, so through Satanism and the rituals that they cast upon each other, I understood that they shape the body early in the life as they are maintaining the divine blueprint that this being internally was not supposed to be. That's the purpose. They want to invert the being into growing up into being sexualized for them. Because the more you want to give up, the more that they'll give to you. If they're fucking your life over, but they're giving you what you wanted, what are you complaining about? You can't tell the world about what you care about, what you believe, what you know, what you think you know spiritually. We didn't pay you to do that because if you go and tell people what's going on, you'll ruin the image or the pyramid scheme that the NBA has going on. Because now, as you can see with the 1v1s going on, you're going to start seeing a league of NBA players playing 1v1. And I do want to see that, but that's like the underground versus the surface level of the NBA. So it's still just women playing against themselves 1v1. So like Michael Beasley and Lance Stevenson, I said Stevenson Lance, but Lance Stevenson and Michael Beasley, when they play 1v1 or whatever, in the future, you will start seeing people wanting to watch that more than a 5v5 because it's not going to be real basketball once the masses start saying, this person don't play like a man, how a man would, but they're Nephilim beings. So they're just large in size to where they're just going to bully their way into the paint or just shoot. But the people who are defending them, they are playing somewhat of defense that you think is defense, but realistically, they ain't playing no defense because if your job is to score the ball, why would I stop you from scoring the ball when I get paid to score the ball too? we all gonna eat. It's all collaboration. So there are no losers, there are no winners. They both win. The only difference is one of them is portrayed to be getting, a higher lead or a championship trophy or MVP. That's all that is. The Finals MVP, this lead right here, and just leading the Eastern Conference Finals or whatever the case may be. That's how people are able to get a raise in just their jobs. And their jobs are still not a form of value that people should be chasing after. The NBA is not a real job, by the way. It's a circus act. So your life is basically loaned to you. Like the image that they give to these NBA players, it's handled. Because they're under the same exact spell and they're not even real people. Like when you see them, they'll look real to you, but consciously, they're not conscious of themselves. Because they walk around thinking that they're actually in the NBA. But the whole entire time, you play the character Karl-Anthony Towns, but that's not who you really are. It's what you identify with, but you're not really identifying with Karl-Anthony Towns.
It's his physical
After all
on Cat himself. It's him. It's his physical makeup. Long legs, short torso, big ass feet. There's nothing he can do. He's built like a whole fucking bitch. He's built like a female. Fuck that. Fuck that. Am I saying something wrong? Look, he's built like a girl. He has girl hips. He's like a full WNBA player.
After all that.
So when Gilbert Arenas said that, he basically just exposed the agenda without exposing the agenda. So when people are in the comments talking about he's infatuated with her or with him, or people, because I remember when I made this video on Instagram, people were just talking about we still defend Cat and we're not going to hate on him or whatever. I was just like, you can support whatever you want to support, but you're just under the same exact illusionary spell casting just like them as well. So when I seen her gematria, I was like, you can't make this stuff up. Gematria is the greatest mediator of all time. So the other thing too, I also had researched Nephilim DNA gene editing. So they call it CRISPR like technology. And then you already know about the adrenochrome and how they use that for the ceremonies. And that's how they're able to, when you see somebody's auric field and you feel as if, like the thing with Luciferians, they have great skin and their aroma towards their charismatic ways is how the charisma is able to flourish among society to sexualize them. And that's why too, they have this certain energetic harvesting on the court that makes them seem more dominant, but all they're doing is harvesting energy by going out of their way to do things that the media will blossom towards the masses, for the masses to sit there and appreciate watching, because they want to be like that, but they don't know what that is being. They don't know who that being is being, so they want to be like that being because they can't seem to focus on the being of themselves. So I understood with that, with the Nephilim DNA and the gene editing, I realized that with the hybrid DNA, a lot of times, so their consciousness is sacrificed into these bloodlines for them to mimic hybrid or the hybridization of being a meta-human. So if you watch Captain America, Brave New World, it's just superhumans basically. So the beings that are over 6'8", 6'9", 6'7", of course, like myself as well, you know, we come from these, how did I miss that? But we come from these fallen programmings because the beings of our past, they were allowing the leeches to harvest their spiritual database, and then that caused the inversion to be manifested in what we see today. But people are not able to see the normalization of the practices that our people were never doing amongst themselves, because they rewired our brain from the system that we were supposed to be observing, not following, into damnation. And then the thing is too, with the watchers, the ones that they go outside of the observation, these beings, for them to find a host, for them to maneuver around a simulation without being known, they had to breed and ape and molest our people, our mothers. And then when they gave birth, they obviously were dead beasts because they were doing the exact same virus and plaguing the wombs of other women that were giving birth to different gods that we would consider to be demonic programmings or Luciferian sellouts. And that's how now the compromised vessel was spiritually corrupted. Because at this point, women were just giving birth because they figured that this child would save them from the burden that they were carrying from the man's choices that she allowed to lay herself with. So she can blame the man all she wants, but it's like it takes two to tango. And the thing is too, she knew that this being was imbalanced, but the divine masculine that she was inspired by or wanted to live next to didn't tell the truth about what he was doing, quote unquote, what he, aka what she was doing to her. So when the families are dysfunctional, this child has to be introduced to a whole dynamic of occultism or sorcery, mysticism, hermeticism, all these different crafts unconsciously. And then if they don't grow up and learn about this stuff on their own, then they're going to be lost. And then they'll be sacrificed into the realm of entertainment to where now their fame will get their family into a better house, better income, better fluctuation for just bills, taxes, them having a peaceful lifestyle to retire from. That's really all this is about. That's why we are sacrificed into being who we are portrayed to being for our families, and then when we don't meet their expectations, they don't want to claim us for real. Let's get into the hypnotic program. So the thing is, when they're breaking our consciousness into different fragments, all they're doing is putting false identities and implanting them into the minds of the average human being. So the beings that can relate to them are the ones that are gender confused about their archetypes. A lot of people who watch sports, they don't really understand what their gender is. They just exist as, they'll call themselves straight, asexual, they'll say they're lesbian, gay, whatever the case may be. But a lot of people have no idea that your gender does not exist spiritually. But the thing is, when you relate to certain, that's why when people say who their favorite GOAT is, it's like, or people say who their favorite player is, they're having barbershop talk in the barbershop or outside of the barbershop, but it's talking about other transgenders that were able to make them feel a certain way about life. That's all that really is. And that's exactly why it's a hypnotic program or a processing of the mind, because they can hear your conversations, obviously. That's exactly why they have phones. And the thing is too, when you have your phone playing music, when you have your phone just by you, when you're texting, when you have your phone on a phone call, when you have your phone in your pocket, doesn't matter what you're doing. Even on the TVs, they're always listening. So when they're listening, it's even spies as well. Have you understood what a fly was or a monitoring spirit? When they get certain bugs, when they get certain people, handlers, agents in your life, they're just listening. And then they're just tracing what they talked about, what you talked about, to their masters. And then the puppet masters are just going to gravitate that energy towards the entertainment or the conglomerates of these massive media processes for sports. And then these sports industries, they'll alchemize that and then feed it to the players that are playing the game of chess for distractions. And then that's how they're able to now listen to what society wants them to keep doing as far as basketball. Okay. And then the other one was their parents will make blood anointing pacts. So false steam bargains. And when the mother and the father, when they spiritually sacrifice the children, which is basically us, now they're just basically, hold on, because I don't like how these bugs are flying on me like that. But they're basically, where's I at? Yeah, they're offering us up. They're offering us up to the people that gave them the position to get you whatever you wanted if you are spoiled in life. Because when we spoil ourselves, when our parents spoil us, we're not able to see how much materials don't matter. So if you come from nothing and then all of a sudden you had everything given to you, and you're aware of the things that has been given to you, but you don't attach yourself to it, you now get to really see that these things never mattered. What mattered was, can you love the person that's gifting you things that weigh you down? So once you stop needing things in this world, you stop having to do things for money, because money's not your God anymore. Because you know what it feels like to be broke. So it's like when you come from that financial situation that you think you're broken, you have to consciously be aware spiritually of the fact that you already had abundance within you. So when you understand that the spiritual abundance is able to help you get over that hump of the money that you think you lost, you are now able to see for yourself, like, when my father, my mother gave me up to be in this realm, I have a choice to make. That's exactly why I don't believe in free will. It's just choice. that you make in the willingness of your freedom mentally. But you still are going to be dumb through curiosity, because curiosity did kill our subconscious mind into wanting to join societies that have all the knowledge. And the thing is, too, that's what I understood as well, why people want to join Freemasonry, because they do have all the knowledge. So we understand that. And the beings above them have all the knowledge as well. So as you go into those higher realms, all they want to do is just, they want to compensate the solar awareness. They want to make sure they can get paid through the Antichrist frequency that they control to this day. It's artificial intelligence. That's exactly why, too, with the AI programming of what God is, their God is androgynous. Their God has no gender, but their God is genderless. Their God is both genders as well, which is exactly why, too, they came up with more genders as well to confuse the masses, because the beings that we don't see, they're the ones that gave us the gender to be confused in anyways. So a lot of times as well, when the beings go through hormonal manipulation, so like hormone replacement therapy, androgen blockers, and then when they go through the estrogen implants and all that, they're committing false birth identities. And then once they get involved in that, they have to alter their documentation. And then they're going to put their documentation into sorcery by being puppet masters. But a puppet master is still going to be controlled by a higher master. Which is exactly why when Gilbert Arenas mentioned this, Ade Gematria, who was Karl-Anthony Towns, still think I'm making this up. Because I know somebody was going to say, I don't think Karl-Anthony Towns is a woman, or whatever the case may be. But right here, transgender day of visibility. And as soon as I said that, the sun comes out from it being blocked by, So when it comes down to even just cloud seeding as well, all this stuff is controlled. It's all a script. So when you see what the script is, through Gematria, they're speaking in numbers. This is their language right here. So the people who are guarding her, or who were guarding her from the Pacers, even other teams as well, they knew that they were going to go far anyways, because they wanted New Yorkers to feel some kind of way. So when I was in New York, that's why I know Gematria literally is just ahead of its time. So it's just like, if I want to know something, I just go to Gematria and I just put it in, honestly. Or I just intuitively just think and be mindful of it. And I just travel to that higher observation. I just sit with the guides that control the realm. I don't even talk to them. I just vibrate in their energy. And I just sit there and I just see what they're doing. And I bring it back to you the best way I can, because you can't articulate what these astral leeches are doing. But we can observe them, though. So basically, you're cheering for transgenders. And then, so that's like what I put. Still think I'm making this up, because of course in 4 ciphers, 304-1824-605-382. Now it doesn't have to align in all 4, but if it aligns into men lie, women lie with them numbers, slaves but with more money. If you support the NBA or football, baseball, soccer, or football, not soccer, water polo, volleyball, golf, tennis, you support Lucifer. And society is not ready for that conversation. So if you feel like you're the oddball and you don't want to watch sports, by all means, it's not a bad thing. It's pointless anyways, because all you're doing, you're just watching slaves put in shots for more money. Not only just that, LeBron James won his 3rd title. But he really has 4 right now, because he already had 1 with the Lakers, Cleveland, and then 2 with Miami Heat. So right there. But if you understand too, Gematria, the numbers say that if the Sumerians, even the Hebrews as well, even before then, when we were talking like this, before the English language, when we were playing with numbers and putting them into sentences, paragraphs, and just entries and all that, how do you think we knew that back then? So where the people who came up with English, they were able to align it with our meaning with numbers. That got us out of this system that they made up. Because life is a system. Life is numbers, by the way. Everything is a part of a number, because they dropped this MacBook on what day? They dropped this iPad on what day? They dropped this phone, whatever, on certain dates, days, years, months, a certain time. They put these things in certain times. So right now, 39 minutes, that's the time that the script is scripting out as far as my Gematria to make this video, because everything runs off of a code that they come up with. So when we understand that, everything that we see, so even like in The Matrix, When you go outside into the matrix and you see the agents, they're just numbers that we are seeing ourselves in. So every day, all you see is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But that 9, or 1 through 9, it turns into a physical because the mind does not see the numbers anymore. The 9 has to see the beliefs that we were taught to put titles to. We put titles to grass and then the trees or whatever the case may be. That's because somebody told you that that was grass or that was a tree. But if you never knew that that was a grass or a tree or the sun or these clouds or whatever or an iPad or these desks or these tables, how would you know what these things are? How would you know who Karl-Anthony Towns is when Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't even know who she is? She's playing as he, but he does not know who she is because he thinks that he's actually a guy in the NBA. Whole entire time, you went too down into the rabbit hole to where you lost yourself spiritually because you were enslaved to more money. And if you were getting paid multi-millions, I mean, would you be telling the world that you're a transgender as well? Probably not. On top of that too, they all think you are a agate. How does Gematria know that? Because there was also a video too in New York. They were saying, can you do your best Karl-Anthony Towns impression? Why do people think that you are a... I can't make this stuff up. Let's see. After examining his body further, I agree. Let's see, hold on. My nose is itchy. So look, they even made a thread.
Outside looking in, like we was like, damn, it's total chaos in Minnesota right now. Like,
No, for sure.
it was like Jimmy versus.
Why he say it like that?
Like, I said, let me take this charge real quick. That was probably the worst thing I ever could have done. That man fell right over me. You know, you ever see that? Just like a train ran over.
No
like,
grace.
I was like, oh my god. I was like, why did I do that? my dumb ass over here.
After all that, they took him off the court.
Did you know I was gonna do it?
Bro, they asked me in media about you.
What? What?
They really did.
What the?
Bro, you're funny. SEC. SEC. What you mean?
So, I mean, and the thing is too, just enjoy the piece because we don't even have to say a word. If you just look at this, and these are people's opinions, by the way, but they all think you are a... And the thing is, I can care less. The only thing that I care about is the fact that you took an oath and you know what's really going on, but you're being quiet because you're getting paid. I'm on a pocket watch, but you can go ahead and research how much Karl-Anthony Towns gets paid to play in the NBA. That lets you know exactly why he'll keep quiet. Because if you got paid that much, would you keep quiet as well? And if you say no, be real with yourself. Be real. Transgender Day of Visibility. And if this hurts your heart, if this hurt your ego, whatever the case may be, then you're not in tune with reality. And Gematria will even tell you that. I'm not in tune with reality. And the thing is, Gematria even told her, you're not in tune with reality. Because why would you be when you're under hypnosis? Who is pulling the strings? We don't call them a name. You don't call them Freemasons. You don't call them the Boule. You don't call them the Bilderberg. You don't call them the Committee of 300, Society of Jesus. You don't call them Luciferian. They have no name. That's how enlightened they are, quote unquote. And enlightenment is still unconscious to itself because enlightenment does not know what it needs to reach to become enlightened. So who gave enlightenment that power to become more enlightened of itself? It's like, come on now. Freemason Child Abuser Network. Once again, who are they playing basketball? Who are they sacrificing? You know these kids are being trafficked, and you're closer to these kids being trafficked than the average human being. But why would you speak up on that when nobody wants to hear about that? They want to see you put the ball into the hoop. So why would they care about your opinion? If the greatest players in the NBA, if they sat down and just said, all right, here's who's trafficking these kids, and I'm going to speak up on it, would they still be in the NBA? Probably not. Then the money stops flowing in. They can't help provide for their family. They can't protect their image. They can't portray to be a certain someone in society anymore because you went against your oath, and then society will frown upon you and say, man, you ruined something good for yourself. You were in the NBA, you had it all, and then you ruined it because you want to talk about child trafficking like we care or something. That's how the average person will think. So when they understand that, they know that, okay, well, I'm going to play unconsciously, but consciously I'm going to say some little woke things or here and there to put some nuggets out there, but realistically, my consciousness does not belong to me. It's controlled by beings that gave me this position to be a point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center on this NBA team. Gematria causes world to awaken. So if you watch this video, you basically shifted your mindset into understanding that this is not a game no more. So yeah, we're up in the teaching still. So I also have a video for arcades you can see. So we're gonna get on to that. Bonsu cut as well. B-Dell still there. Charleston White, Dr. Umar. What's his name? Bobby Hemmett. We got so many people that's coming up. Just be ready for it. I also got teaching for London, Paris, New York. So I'm just getting things aligned, just getting myself just more breaks mentally and all that. But we're working. We got things to do. So we understand that Gematria will help you understand Freemason Child Abuser Network. So when you understand what this abuse or what this abuse does, that's exactly why I'm exposing it on Patreon. Because when you understand how deceptive it gets, it goes beyond this first degree right here. And the thing is too, I walked away from that first degree for a reason. So it was like, if I was able to go higher and higher, imagine what books I would be able to show you all. But I'm not willing to go into those realms. I was fortunate enough to even get this book by accident because they thought that I was still going to come to the meetings. After learning what y'all do to the people that look just like you think I'm finna continue to listen to the bullshit that y'all hide in secrecy in lodges? With the Bible in front of you, wide open, and you squaring God's consciousness as God's consciousness? What God am I talking about? And how is God conscious in consciousness? Where are all the missing children? Everything is already known. They already know what's going on. They know who's gonna win the finals 50 years from now. So you can make a bet in 50 years and you can be the richest person in the world. If you know how to play Gematria right, if you know how to play the game right with this finals going on, you will know that the Pacers may end up winning the game. And if they don't win, I won't care. If OKC wins, cool. Because the thing is too, they both won. They're both getting paid. They're all rich. They're all millionaires. So therefore, who loses? When they're all winning the same exact initiative. Get to that money. Get that bag. Protect your family. Keep on playing basketball. Keep playing a childhood game. You played the game for Lucifer, so it's like, why even sit here and stop doing what you love to do when you were sacrificing to continue to doing it? And the thing is too, I just seen a cop drive by this building, and the thing is too, cops are Freemasonic as well. So it's like they're always listening. You can't escape these motherfuckers. They're always around you 24/7. And the thing is too, if you don't know what I mean, the blue and red symbolize what? It's still duality. Doesn't matter if it's white and black, red and white, blue and white. It can be anything in the world. It's still going to be duality, polarity. When you see the sirens go off and you see them, when you see that, your body freezes. Because then if you're driving and you hear that siren behind you, you look back, you're like, oh shit, what did I do? You start questioning what you did. But how do you know you did anything? Exactly. Are all Freemasons secretly gay? And the thing is, I wouldn't even know. But I believe so. Because I understood that a lot of them love to be around each other, to drink, to have fun, to party, to barbecue, to grill, to make fish or whatever, fried fish, for them to just drink and all that stuff, as far as drinking alcohol, drinking beer, just talking about memories from the past or whatever the case may be, or just even about sports or society in general. And it's like, when you understand these conversations, you just look and listen and just be like, why the fuck am I even here right now? That's what I was sitting there thinking when I was just like, even back then, when I was just observing what was going on, I was like, what the fuck is that? And I can't be upset with nobody, because when I really took that leap, because that's the only thing that they'll do as well. They won't tell you to leave, but when you do leave, it's like that energy will make you feel bad for leaving, but it's like, don't ever feel bad for escaping societies that never cared about you. It's what you can do for them, not what they can do for you. Because they'll only do things for you when you give away the things that's required of you. When you understand that you don't need them, they really do need you, you stop doing things for them, because why would you want to satisfy their ego? When all they want is your attention. They want your attention span so they can control it. Because when you do make it into the higher degrees that they are crafting, they'll be able to say, I told you so, I knew that this person was going to make it. But we still have them under our thumb, under our finger. So he or she can't do anything for it without our permission. It's like your life is not yours no more. So they tell you to bend over backwards and get by another man or get assaulted by another man. They're gonna record it. And then when you wake up the next day to sign that contract, they'll show you what you did, and then you'll be unconscious of what you did. Because you were like, I ain't do that. You were drugged. But that's the thing though, you were under that mind control substance. So you can't sit here and say you didn't have that drink. No, you had a drink. You had a drink, you had some liquor, you probably had some ecstasy, perks. Like, so when they go to so that all white party that, okay, hold on. Hold on. Hopefully I spelled that right. If I didn't, it's all good. So a lot of times, I don't know if he was even in this picture, but so it's a lot of people, and this thing will load, but if that's Tyrese Halliburton, that's going to be crazy. It might be, honestly. And wow, my alarm went off. But so this thing is blurry, but I know that that's Mo Bamba, that's Aiden right there, Donovan Mitchell as well. So but that shows you, I think that's Tyrese Halliburton. Let me see, let me visit this picture real quick. Still recording, we're good. Just because if he's not in the picture, it's all good. But they all work in the same space. Yup. No, I'm trying to click on the... Thank you. Yup, so of course. So now with these parties, right? My bad, my eyes are itchy and all that. So, and I've been up all night as well. I ain't getting no sleep. I woke up around 10 something. I've been up ever since. So are all Freemasons secretly gay? Now the thing is too, Balenciaga full of satanic groomers. Balenciaga full of satanic groomers. Can't make it up. Gotta show your allegiance. So now when you, let me see. When we go back to this, it's like, that's not even Tom Brady. Thing is, all of them are cloned. And when I say clone, all of them are not in their bodies. So what did I have? So there's something called genetic ascension programs. You have elixir of illumination, ego fracture conditioning, symbiotic interface, etheric agents that channel energy, and then rites of androgynous transcendence. So when these beings, these are like ceremonies for them. And because they're under a trauma-based behavioral program, their ego is fractured. And then because their energy is getting harvested by that trauma, they're now just aware and they suppress their emotions. So when they stand in the picture, it's like, and when they cover their eyes as well, they're showing you what they're hiding from, which is basically your attention. Because if you focus too hard on them, then you'll notice who they are. But that's like why they have the flash on. Because you still won't see that they're captured by time that they've been traumatizing sexually. Their energy's being drained by these beings right here, and they're taking their manhood. They know this. But the thing is though, they're not men. These are not men, they're all women. And these are the men right here. So of course you got the Kardashians, and you got Lala right here as well. And once again, women, but these are men. But it's like, when you see it, you'll think that it's 3 women and a man. No, it's really 4 women, but then in a different realm, it's still a woman and then 3 men. So this woman put these men on. They're all in on it. Look at his arms. Look at his shoulders. And then you look at the clavicles as well, like the clavicle, and then as well, they can also shed the Adam's apple down. So one of the greatest studs, one of the greatest lesbians of all time, and she's been getting, of course, that's exactly why too, the Carter 6, that's why the Carter 6 sounds the way it sounds, because people don't understand that once you're under that constant suppression of your mind being aware of the art that you were successful in, now it's went to shit because of drugs and lean and all that. That just goes to show you that they made you into this image that you show society, and now you fell for the trap. So when people say his album's ass, they're not wrong. I ain't gonna lie, I heard that shit. No comment. So yeah, two men right here, woman. And of course, as you can see with the hand around and all that, all this is just boob implants and them showing their allegiance, as above, so below. Showing you as well what they did. So it's like with the vaginas, with that symbolism, they're not from here. So because they're not from here, they've been turned inside out. So it's kind of like letting you know with this symbolism, basically, this just shows you to the people who are in the same exact fraternityism, pussy rules the world. It runs everything. They get what they want. So why would they be mad about that? When men want to fuck them, women want to fuck them, and it's like, if they like getting fucked, it's like they don't care because they're getting paid, they're getting money. They're willing to sacrifice their mom and dad because their mom and dad sacrificed them. So it's like blood for blood, basically. Yep, so, exactly. I mean, Michael Rubin, Tyrese Halliburton, Mo Bamba, Aiden, this is Cole Anderson. No, he's on the Magic though. This is Buddy. He was on the. That's that. I forgot his name. But I know this is Paolo, and then I think he's on. I forgot what team he's on, but Donovan Mitchell. So, but yeah, as you can see, Tyrese Halliburton. You see what party he's at, and then you see where he's at as far as life in the finals. What are you willing to give up? And at these parties, they're not going to show you, because I know you're going to be like, well, how would you know what's going on? Because I feel like that's just too invested. No, the investment is the fact that they're taking your spiritual purpose away from you. It's like, you're supporting people that groom children. So it's like, you can't get upset with me for exposing what you are unconscious to. You support child traffickers. So you can't tell me that you're focused on children getting trafficked because you don't care. But if it was your daughter, your niece, your nephew, your son, yourself getting trafficked, would you speak out on it? You probably wouldn't, because you're either too afraid, or you're too afraid of getting judged by other people, or you're too afraid of what will happen to your lifestyle or your family. So you keep it quiet because you're in on it as well. If you're in on something, why would you expose it when it's benefiting your life? If you're trafficking children, you're getting paid for it, why would you tell the world? But yeah, full of satanic groomers, and he's literally wearing the grooming of satanic worshipers. He's basically wearing his rich baby mama and daddy's, what's the word that I had? Yeah, blood pact. Signing in blood. Sacrifice your mom for it. The art of manipulating objects. It's in his scripts. At this point, that's why I only did just one. And the thing is too, it's gonna be, even though it's an hour, but I just want to only do one script. I just want to do one little entry, one little gematria entry, because we don't have to put pages on pages, because that'd be too easy at this point. So the art of manipulating an object. That's why when I stopped playing basketball, it really took me some years, some months to talk to myself and be like, damn, bro, do you know what you had to put up with? Since I was 5 years old, playing basketball, constantly just getting hurt. Getting my teeth knocked out when my tooth got knocked out before, tearing my ACL, getting elbowed, having my nose restructured because somebody elbowed me twice because I was just cooking that nigga and locking him up. And the refs didn't even call it. It's just some like crazy shit. Falling on my head, having concussions, seeing people I was close with commit suicide from basketball, getting killed from basketball. It's like, once I understood how deep this shit get, man, even I was playing basketball. I have a story time too of somebody, like I basically got shot at too. Like, not at, but around in the vicinity, like outside the basketball court. And the person that I was with, they got jumped for their Jordans. And we were playing basketball, and it happened after the game. And it was at a park that's not too far from my crib or whatever. But that just goes to show you how deep basketball gets in the suburbs, by the way. I don't even stay in the hood. It'd be the suburbs. And the thing is, too, when I was younger in the suburbs as well, I mean, I done seen some shit. I was like, why is this happening in a good neighborhood? It's like, what the... But I forgot, too, a lot of people move from Atlanta, they move to the outskirts, and they start fucking shit up, man, because niggas can't control their emotions. So when you start cooking niggas, that's when I noticed, too. When I was dominating people, and people got this expectation to want to outdo me, want to outperform me. So that's why I started going to LA Fitness. It's like why I started going to Lifetime. I started going to the YMCA to hoop. I started going to parks to hoop, because after a while, even in the men's league, all these different leagues that I would just play in just for fun or whatever, I noticed that people's jealousy got the best of them. And I don't want to play against your jealousy. What the hell was that? The fuck? But yeah, I don't want to play against people's jealousy, because it's like, bro, I just want to play basketball. So once I was able to manipulate the object, I understood that manipulation was manipulating the art of the person committing the craft by putting an object into another object. And that's when I knew that people's spirit was trapped within the game. So it's like, you can't even play the game without your feelings getting involved. And I was just like, bro, I don't even want to do this shit no more. And of course, the moon is a soul catching machine. So that's exactly why too, that satellite was there for a reason. And the thing is, if you look on a map and you see the continents, if we see the continents is an emulation. So this is not how the world looks, by the way. But if we look, that's literally how the moon projects what we see. No, I'm trying to get the full, I want to get the full image for you on the screen. I don't like that little bingo. Okay, so now if you look at the moon, you can't see it, but if you just study it, if you go outside of your mind and you study it, this is exactly what projects on our simulation. So we got mind control in this realm, this realm, this realm, this realm, this realm, that realm, that realm, that realm, that realm, this. Just add off of here. And this realm right here. And this realm right here. And these realms right here. So with these little islands. So exactly why too, we go outside of our wall, because now the thing is, this would be space of your mind. This would be the ice wall. And of course, the consciousness up here. So because they have the ice walls out here, a lot of consciousness is not able to see that. That's exactly why people think that the world is flat or a globe or hollow. But it's literally just a simulated realm that has no shape, it has no form. Humanity gave form to a realm that they are stuck in mentally. That's the problem. Humanity is giving form to a simulation that has no form. It's a number system. Therefore, that's exactly why the moon shows you every time you attach your mind to a certain programming, you're stuck in it. So if you believe that these are continents, you're stuck in them. So if you go visit these landmarks and you see yourself there, you're seeing yourself under that same exact hypnosis that the moon casted upon you. So all you're doing is seeing your doppelganger in another terrain realm that you are a part of. That's exactly why it's catching your solar awareness, because even though when you want to transcend this realm, you come right back because your ego outweighs your awareness. But if you watch Midnight Gospel on Netflix, This episode right here is unique. It gave me like an eclectic moment. I was just so heightened, and the thing is, I've been watched this. I watched this when it first came out, but I wasn't aware of it till now. Like, as I went back and watched it, I was like, oh, this shit sound like I'm reading a ABC, a Dr. Seuss book. It was too easy to comprehend at this point because we already did the shadow work on this stuff already. So that's exactly why when the ego was outweighing the feather, that's exactly why this being right here kept coming back into the soul, or basically the body. So when the body was, basically this is his prison right here. And then that's the solar awareness attached to him. So that silver cord, that was his higher self just being attached to him, or his guardian. And this being, it was so bad. He kept dying, kept coming back to life, kept dying, going through this phase or whatever the case may be. And that's when he started crying. And he was doing everything he could to escape, because it was just like, bro, I gotta get up out of here. And that's when he understood that he got this. And the thing is too, this being right here, he had this time stopper. It reversed time, and it was like a heart. It was like a clock though. So he was able to escape, but he wasn't really aware of what this being was going through, because this being was going to constantly die. Like, he just kept getting his ass stabbed and shit. So when this happened, as Zechariah, the perception of God was crying. So it's like the all-seeing God, the observable creation, was seeing the ego. It was holding our subconscious mind. And it kept crying because it's just like, okay, I'm nurturing you, I'm trying to help you, but you don't want to help yourself. And it's sad to see you go through this, because you're hurting yourself in the body that you are sleeping in. You have to be awake. So once the being was awake, that's when the show ended up showing you that we are just constantly catching ourselves into being unconscious. So we had to escape the machine that we place ourselves in mentally, because the game of life is a game that we accepted playing. So it's like you cut the game system on, you cut the console on, and then you want to keep playing it. You want to stop playing it, but then you start existing. You don't want to exist in that feeling of infinity. So you have to put yourself into an augmented reality or a virtual world that you can find your future in. That's exactly why the NBA is a game that you put your life in. That's exactly why they made NBA 2K or NBA Live. And that's like why they made Fortnite too. All these different, and even basketball in real life. All you're doing is playing a game within a game. So it's not only just about consciousness, it's not only about spirituality, just a mental capacity, exercising, endurance, testosterone, the mind, having a heart, having confidence, practice, consistency. I mean, it's just so many different things around the board to where they had to sacrifice you to see how talented you were by manipulating the art of objects. You had to put your energy into this being that's considered to be Lucifer. So when you sacrifice yourself to a ball, when you give your all to a ball, the art of manipulating this object will give right back to you, to where you have to go into the NBA because you're just too good to be better than average now. We want to see you show off your craft, or we pay you for it. But guess what? It comes with a cost though. And what is that? The being that you should have been being spiritually, but because you want to have more money, you can't be that spiritual being no more. So what will it be? Spiritual freedom or physical damnation? The only thing is though, you'll be rich. What you want to do? I'll take the money. So be it. All right, here we go. Say goodbye to your spirit. What does that even mean? It don't even matter. You'll see it when you lead a simulation. Next thing you know, when they lead a simulation, oh, that's what this industry meant. Fuck. Yeah, you've been fucked. Have a great Nirvana Divine Reflection.